Hi, everyone. Lisa Haven here. Well, what I have to share with you guys today is literally going to turn your stomach. You see, right now, there are secret police stations that are being resurrected, not only here in the United States of America, but all over the globe. Now, the even more chilling part is the fact that they only have one goal and one slated purpose. And you guys are going to be floored by that. But before I dive in, please check out my partner at preparewithlisa.com. They're the reason that I am still here on air. And I really, really, really love the fact that I partner with them because they provide something that I absolutely do myself. I have My Patriots food supply, and I really encourage you to do so in light of everything that is going on with the economy. We are literally facing food shortages. Please prepare your family. And right now, you can get the 4-week emergency food supply kit for $50 off simply by going to preparewithlisa.com. So go directly to that website to take advantage of that special offer. More information is found in the description box below. All right, so let's dive into these secret police stations that are being resurrected all over the globe. Now, for starters, these particular police stations were discovered by an investigation that was done by Safeguard Defenders. In their particular investigation, they found the fact that the Communist Party of China has been resurrecting these stations all over the globe with one purpose, and that purpose is to go after Chinese people, to bring them back to their country in order to prosecute them, for things like speaking out against the communist government. It's downright chilling, and chilling even more so is the fact that we here have allowed this station in the United States of America. But let's go directly to the source so you guys can see what I'm talking about there. And here it is, safeguarddefenders.com. Here's the report that they released exposing the secret police force or army or units, if you will, that are being resurrected. And it's titled 110 Overseas Chinese Transnational Policing Gone Wild. And here's all the different countries that have these particular police stations that have been resurrected. And you can see Canada and the United States of America are also included in that. But let's dive into a little bit on the introduction. And here's what it states. As part of a massive nationwide campaign to combat the growing issue of fraud and telecommunication fraud by Chinese nationals living abroad, Chinese authorities claim that from April 2021 to July 2022, 230,000 nationals had been persuaded to return to face criminal proceedings in China. This campaign, which started on a humble scale in 2018, has developed alongside the establishment of overseas Chinese police service stations, sometimes called 110 Overseas, after the National Police Emergency Phone number now found in dozens of countries across 5 continents. This investigation looks into these two related and recent developments, especially in view of the expansion of other forms of long-arm policing and transnational repression by the PRC. Now, it goes on a little further in that report, some of the key points here. Its rapidly emerging evidence points to extensive online campaigns and the use of overseas police service stations being used in these operations in 5 continents, often using local Chinese overseas home associations linked to the Communist Party, the CCP's United Front work. Now, here's a little bit more detail on how many cities they are involved in. Director of the Overseas Chinese Police Office of the Public Security Bureau in Fuzhou City, Fujian Province, announced that the Fuzhou Public Security Bureau had opened its first batch of 30 overseas police service stations in 25 cities in 21 countries. What countries are these being resurrected in? Well, they give you kind of a little bit of a short list. Everything from Ireland to the Netherlands to Portugal, Hungary, Italy, Spain, UK, Canada, the United States. You can see they've got 3 of them, by the way, in Toronto, Canada, and 1 of them in the United States, specifically in the city of New York. Now, those are just the ones that we know about. The question is, what other ones exist? Because quite frankly, they are not revealing all the ones that they have placed all over the country, not just here in the United States of America, but all over the globe. But that said, this has really led to some questions and some lingering questions in my mind. Number one is why suddenly the Biden administration allowing this Communist Party police station to be resurrected in the United States of America. 2, my guess is because he's already in bed with the Chinese Communist Party, especially when you consider the dealings with him as the big guy and Hunter Biden's laptop, right? We know that Bob Alinsky, his Hunter Biden's business partner, has come out exposing ties with Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the Communist Party. But I digress. That information, by the way, we've been discussing in detail on restrictedrepublic.com. If you really want to know what's going on, get on over there. On the screen there is our latest addition to Restricted Republic, Laura Thompson. She's been giving her input. So you get me, Justice Knight, and Laura Thompson. But check it all out at restrictedrepublic.com. But I digress. That said, now that we know that these things, these police stations and police armies are being resurrected all over the globe, what are we doing about it in the United States of America? Because why are we allowing the Communist Party to have such strength in our country? And this is a question that I believe needs to be addressed. And the good news is there are 18 Republicans who are now screaming about it, so much so that they have now penned a letter to Austin and Blinken asking them, why the hell is the Communist Party allowed in the United States of America to have a secret police station? Take a look at this pinned article. And here it is. It was written by Banks, Waltz, Gallagher, and it's a letter to Austin and Blinken asking about the Communist Party police, the CCP there, arm in New York City. And you can see it was penned with 18 other House Republicans. Now, here's the actual letter. Congress of the United States, it was just penned a few days ago, October 7th, 2022, and they're addressing it to Blinken and Merrick Garland. I hate to say this, but I doubt either of them will do anything about it because we already know that Merrick Garland, the DOJ, is so corrupt that he is specifically attacking conservatives, libertarians, Christians, and of course, those who are pro-abortion right now. They're on a tangent, and I don't see them doing anything about it as long as this corrupt person is in charge. But either way, here's what the letter states. It says, Dear Secretary Blinken and AG Garland, we are writing to express our grave concerns over reports of the law enforcement pressure of the People's Republic of China in New York City. The Public Security Police Bureau of Fuzhou, China, announced in January 2022 that it has opened the first batch of over 30 overseas police service stations in 25 cities in 21 countries. In the U.S., the Fuzhou Police Overseas Service Station is hosted at the American Changal Association, an overseas Chinese hometown organization in New York City. It is deeply troubling that the Chinese government could use these service stations as its long arm policing abroad. Amen and amen, because that is exactly what they're being used for. But they go on. A 2008 report from the U.S.-Chinese Economic and Security Review Commission has described how the CCP United Front Work Department has worked to suppress the free speech rights of U.S. persons protesting against the CCP. According to Peter Mattis, a research fellow at Victims of Communist Memorial Foundation, CCP intimidation and efforts to promote Beijing's narrative sometimes crosses the line into criminal criminal actions, such as conspiracy against rights. The U.S. Department of State has similarly found that the CCP's United Front Work Department funds and supports overseas organizations to spread propaganda and coerce the bullies, those who would oppose Beijing's policies. Although claiming to provide Fuzhou's residents abroad certain services, often administrative or consular in nature, such as renewing their Chinese driver license, the Fuzhou Overseas Police Service Station, including their online form, are reportedly involved in fulfilling Chinese law enforcement functions, at least in some countries. They coerce purported Chinese fugitives abroad to return to China to face legal proceedings, which is euphemistically dubbed as persuading to return in Chinese parlance. By doing so, China avoids scrutiny on its human rights record in relation to repatriating alleged fugitives overseas by eschewing former international cooperation mechanism. There should be no room for the Chinese government to exercise law enforcement unilaterally on United States soil. Amen and amen. It is doubtful if the Fuzhou Overseas Police Service Station in New York City was established in coordination with relevant U.S. authorities. In 2020, the Chinese government campaign illegally targets United States residents to force their return to China had become so severe that the FBI issued an internal memorandum on the issue. So case in point here, we have these Chinese police stations that are popping up even here in the U.S. And the question is, where else are they at in the U.S.? But either way, they're all over the globe. And these particular units are encouraging, persuading Chinese nationals here in the U.S. to go back over to face some kind of prosecution. And I can guarantee you, they're not just looking at fugitive, because a fugitive to China is anyone, who says anything against the Communist Party. Remember, we're talking about a country who jails and imprisons Uyghur Muslims, who jails and imprisons Christians, does Falun Gong, organ harvesting, with all of that. This is a very, very mean, evil regime, communist regime, who cares not about the freedom of anyone, but only cares about punishing those who spoke out against their policies. Things were so bad in 2020, according to that letter written by our leaders there, that they had to issue an internal memorandum at the FBI warning of such things. And now, fast forward to 2022, and Joe Biden is allowing these stations to now be resurrected in our country? What kind of kickbacks, what kind of other kickbacks is the Biden administration given to the Communist Party? Great question. Anyhow, you want more on what's going on, get to restrictiverepublic.com. Anyhow, I love all of you. Can't wait to read your comments. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, subscribe. That came out really funny. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. YouTube has been removing a lot of people en masse. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.